Yes, we're live. So, what was the session with Liz helpful? Did you have some insights?
It was really helpful, and um, unfortunately, I'm between of changing my home now, and all the boxes and everything, and I couldn't be in the session all the time, but it was really useful for me. Thanks that there are videos.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you said that you were thinking of moving to the Netherlands to start your company there, right?
Yes. I'm thinking about the idea of starting a startup there, and because the Netherlands has many opportunities to startups.
Yeah, then you definitely need to take the module. If you are in Skill Lab, you can see the Startup in the Netherlands module, and then of course,
I started it before.
Yeah, and then I was also thinking of doing a session just on that. If people needs to ask questions, because we've been through it all, and we have
many times.
Coming to the Netherlands as a foreigner as well, and we have of course connections at the incubators in case you want to do it that way, or also connections at several provinces that also help entrepreneurs to get settled. Well, kind of assuming that you might be thinking about Amsterdam, but don't forget there are other places where it might be easier, because everyone wants to go to Amsterdam, but then of course you have to be ready to pay a lot for everything, including housing. And the competition for funding, of course, is going to be higher because more people are there. But if you choose a different province that might not be as sexy, but they don't get a lot of startups, so they might devote more time to you, and you might actually have an easier access to funds. So something to consider if you decide to move.
And of course, it's also several parts of the Netherlands have somewhat different ecosystems. So, for instance, surrounding Eindhoven, you have the tech industry with Philips Medical, ASML, all those companies. So, if that's something you are into, then of course it will be interesting to look at Eindhoven. Whereas, Amsterdam, it's broad, of course, but it has all have their own things that they are better in.
I think Utrecht is not bad, at least from the startup ecosystem. So we can always connect you to someone from there to get you started.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Utrecht is expensive as well for housing, huh?
Yeah, I mean, doesn't have to live in the city. I'm just talking about the province, because if you are in a certain province, if your company is registered in a certain province, then of course you qualify for the funding from that province. And of course we have experience with Limburg, so we know Utrecht, and we know North Brabant, so where Eindhoven is. And I do have connections to other provinces as well, pretty much.
Yeah.
So it depends on what it is that you are looking for. The domain in which you, of course, do your startup, that might be more interesting to one province versus the other. And and if they have this what's called a regional development fund, then of course you get a connection there. So they give you someone that you talk to, and then if you click with that person, then they will be willing to help you, because that's in their interest to bring more companies into their province. There's a bit of a competition between the provinces there, of course, so they all want to get startups to their place. So you can pick and choose.
Sorry, can I ask a question
Sure.
about facilitators? Because I know that for the beginning, a facilitator should accept your idea, and then you should come to move to the Netherlands. And I have different thinking about this because I heard many things about facilitators. Somebody told me that they are very helpful and they are very supportive. On the other hand, somebody told me that some of them want some money from you to accept your idea. Can you tell me, because you have experience about it, I believe.
Yeah, the one that I had with which I came to the Netherlands, I will not advise you to use that one, and they don't even exist anymore, I think, right? So, yeah, definitely. I think from my personal experience, yes, Delft. So from University of Delft, they are one of the facilitators that help a lot with getting startups into the Netherlands. They have experience there. I can, yeah. Just today, I read that my connection from there, she actually moved to Chicago and she's working for the Dutch embassy there now. So she should get, but I will definitely be able to get someone there for you. Yes, of course, some of them. So facilitator usually is an incubator or an accelerator of some sorts. And of course, they all behave differently. Some of them take some equity, want some equity from you. Some of them want you to pay for the services. So of course, you have to research each one of them. But definitely, there's of course one in Limburg, but I think that campus only does medical. So the one in Maastricht, they only do medical startups at this moment. So that's not a fit for you. Once again, I think yeah, Utrecht or BOM. I'm not sure if BOM does help with startup visas, but they will basically know where to go to for that. Amsterdam, of course, they have a lot of them. You need to understand what it is that you want, because in one way or the other, you will have to pay, right? So because there's nothing free. So either you actually pay them a fee, or you don't pay anything, but you give part of your company to them in many cases. So it's like it's one or the other. And of course, it might look more interesting to you to give part of your company, because then it means you don't actually have to pay any money at the moment. But that's dangerous later on. If that facilitator ends up to be not a good one, then you're kind of stuck with them because you signed a legal contract with them. And yeah, that might become problematic if like at some point you decide that you don't like them anymore because they're not behaving the way that you expect them to. So it's always a bit of a decision to make, and I would advise you to take that decision also based on how you communicate with people from that facilitator. Like if you, after talking to them, feel like, yeah, they sound great, they sound like they know what they're doing, then I think that's one of the most important things. And of course, yeah, as the legal guy will tell you, make sure that if possible, someone gives you advice on the contract that you're signing. Because probably if you're doing it for the first time, like when I was doing this, no one helped us, and the agreement that we signed was not good for the startup. It was good for the facilitator, not good for us. And this guy over here actually had to take things into his hands to kind of get us out of that contract. Took us a while, a long time, but we did this, which of course is not a good situation to be in, because you waste a lot of time and resources on negotiating on getting this under control. Think there is. I'm gonna try to find a website for you. I'm trying to entry NL or something. I'm pretty sure it's also in one of the webinars, a Netherlands point of entry. I think it's here. They're supposed to have a list of facilitators. Yes, here it is. I'm gonna send you a link here in the chat. I don't know if it's updated. I hope it is. But this is the government agency, and they give you a list of facilitators. So you can basically go through them, see if you like any of them, try to get in touch with them, see if they even respond. And yeah, so you see Yes Delft is there if you open that. So Yes Delft is definitely there on the list. Yeah, Brightlands Camelot campus is also on the list, but do not do that, please. Startup Bootcamp, they definitely take some equity. Lumu Labs, that's the one from North Brabant, so not too far from Eindhoven, from High Tech Campus, but I think they're doing only like deep tech. Utrecht Inc., that's the one from Utrecht. I think that one is interesting for you. Try to get in touch with them. Yeah. Erasmus Center for Entrepreneurship, Oostenel. So yeah, there's quite a few of them. A lot of them are not from Amsterdam, which is good, I think, because everyone wants to go to Amsterdam, and then it's at some point overcrowded and too expensive. But this is a good website to get started for you to figure out, to do some research. And yeah, then if you choose a few, let me know. If I have any connections there, I can try to find a person that you can talk to. Might go quicker. But that's definitely not now. Like the whole Europe is in the summer mode, and no one's gonna respond until September. So you have a couple of months to figure it out, to research a bit.
Thank you.
Anything else you want to ask, or shall we call it a day?
Maybe it's good to ask about Malta ecosystem, that you can compare it because you have experience about both of them.
Yeah.
And
about Malta, we're actually gonna have a session. I think next week there will be someone from one of the foundations here, and the Malta module also has a webinar with him, so you can ask him all the questions. But yeah, there are similarities, of course, and then there are differences between the two countries. Both countries have government that likes to support startups, so both countries have a system of grants and loans and initial funding, and both have bureaucracy involved with that, because once you apply for grants, he's laughing because he has to deal with the administration part of it.
I was doing that almost all day today.
Yes, so grants, which are like called free money, right? Because you don't have to pay it back. But of course, the paperwork and the application administration, that's quite a lot of effort. So from that point of view, of course, you also need, just like you would do in the Netherlands, get someone from that government agency to to be your liaison, to help you with it. So we have, of course, we've done that in the Netherlands, and also we have a person here in Malta Enterprise who is our point of communication with everyone here. They in Malta, they don't have that many incubators, unlike in the Netherlands. In the Netherlands, I think every province has. Here, they actually have one of the famous international incubators just getting started. So it's called Plug and Play. If you've heard about them, I haven't heard about them, but I researched and they seem to be quite big, because even I think PayPal was there in their incubator at some point. So they will be based here, which I think, of course, is going to give a big boost to the Maltese ecosystem. That, as everyone in Malta likes to say, that Malta is small, right? So it is quite small. So of course, all the initiatives are quite local. They have a few pitching competitions, and like Female Switch is also sponsoring one of them that will be at the end of this month. To the winner of that competition, if that winner has a woman in, we want to give free services of Female Switch, of course. So that's what we're trying to do. And the funniest part is that out of 10 finalists, 6 startups have women in them. So like, yay! Suddenly, yeah, it's getting started. And what else in Malta? It's the fact that it's small might be an advantage and also a disadvantage depending on how you look at it. An advantage is like it's very easy to get to know everyone. You can get to know pretty much everyone in the position of power very quickly just because it's small, yeah. On the other hand, that's also the bad thing, because you outgrow the island very quickly, right? Because if you want to expand, if you want to scale, then yeah, you have to think about going somewhere else. But it might be a good place to actually get started, just because it's so closed off. Then, in order to like pilot and launch something, that might be actually a good thing. Both countries are good from the point of view of language, because both countries use English as basically like the second language. For Malta, it's officially; for the Netherlands, not officially, but for the business, English is used a lot, which is important in Europe because most countries don't speak English officially, and that's going to be a hassle if you come to do business. So from that point of view, I think yeah, they are one of two of very few countries that do that. Maybe the Nordics as well, but other than that, well, the UK, of course. What else is different in these two?
Cultural differences.
Sorry?
Cultural differences are quite severe.
Cultural, yes. The Dutch like their agenda. So if you want to have a coffee with someone, if you want to schedule a meeting with someone, they're going to look at the agenda and they're going to say, hey, I have a free spot 3 weeks from now, half an hour, so take it or leave it. The Maltese, of course, are like all the southern nations, more, laid back. They will be like, yeah, we can, do it. So you have to get used to this. The Dutch, when you set a meeting with the Dutch, you know that they're going to be on time. With the Maltese,
Probably not. Probably not.
yeah, but once you get used to this, of course, you have to account for that. Yeah.
And the weather is a lot different. So today it was a lot warmer in the Netherlands than in Malta, which is usually the other way around, of course. But
yeah. So I mean, I think it will like both countries are interesting for startups. Of course, the Netherlands has a lot more going for it because it's bigger and they have more. How can I say this? Momentum going. Malta is basically getting started, but they are very active. Like the government is doing a lot of things to support startups, which I think is boosting the ecosystem a bit. And yeah, then it's all. I think it all comes to basically two things: whether the startup domain that you are in is interesting for a specific place. So that's of course important. And the second one, your personal preference. Like if you hate rain, then maybe don't go to the Netherlands. Huh?
what, does it rain here?
Because you're going to be miserable there, right? Or if you hate the heat, then don't go to Malta, go to the Netherlands. So it's all like, if you are very unhappy in the country where you're in, that's going to affect your business. So like, this is also, I think, very important, your personal preference, because, well, you're going to be living there for a while, for a few years at least.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. The
Yeah,
answer was perfect.
Oh yeah, something that I forgot to say for the startup visa, of course. So the Netherlands has a startup visa, as you said. They do it through the facilitator. Malta is almost ready with the startup visa. So officially, they haven't announced the details yet, but unofficially it's in preparation, and it will be out soon enough. And for that visa, the facilitator is actually the Maltese government. So, which means that in theory you don't have to pay them for that. I'm almost sure that definitely they will not take equity from your company. I'm 99% sure. So that might be, of course, interesting as the safe place to land, where you don't incur costs at the very beginning.
Yeah. On the other hand, if you want to start a company, there's also different rates there. Huh? So, and well, there's a lot of different things there to take into consideration. Yeah. So, for instance, if you want to start with a business as a personal business, that's basically the same, of course, because you then don't have to incorporate anything. If you want to incorporate a BV in the Netherlands or a limited in Malta, is roughly 3 times as much. Basically, it's a difference between 500 and 1,500 euro. So it's not a huge difference, but it's there. On the other hand, I do have to say, the Maltese, they are a little bit more lenient in a lot of things, whereas in the Netherlands, if you're 1 day late, they will nag you.
Yeah.
So basically, if you're in Malta, you think to yourself, they do that better in the Netherlands. And if you're in the Netherlands, you think to yourself, they do that better in Malta.
Yeah, that's why I go back and forth to make sure that I get the best out of 2 worlds, or the worst.
And that you can annoy everyone about everything.
Yeah, I will always say, "Hey, they do it better in Malta," and I'm like, "Hey, better in the Netherlands."
Yep.
Learn. But yeah, I mean, we can't advise you beyond that. What we can definitely do is connect you to the people who can tell you in details, and then of course you take it from there.
Yeah, I think that's one of the. I think it's very good advice to talk to both countries and see who you connect with, because that's the most important thing. If someone in the Netherlands believes in your idea and in Malta they say meh, then it's better probably to go to the Netherlands and the other way around. Huh? So you need to click also.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, of course. It all depends on that connection that you have with the business developer from the agency of the government. If you feel like they're not, they don't really care whether you come or go, maybe, talk to someone else, because it means that they will not be helpful.
Yep.
You need to get someone who is going to be on your side, who is going to be willing to make sure that you actually do come to the country.
Yeah. Yeah, and someone that actually will go the extra mile for you. So in Malta, we have someone that when we run into troubles, and we have run into some troubles, of course, with the pandemic when we started, when we had to arrange certain things, he would go the extra mile for us, and that was very helpful. And for us, it was our lifeline.
Yeah, I would say watch both modules, go through both modules. I think after that you might have maybe a better understanding, or maybe even more questions. Yeah, one way or the other. Like I said, definitely we'll have a webinar about Malta. That's confirmed already. About the Netherlands, I wanted to have someone in to do a talk as well, but that someone is on vacation, and God forbid you disturb the Dutch during their vacation. But I will see if I can get someone else to join, because I really would like someone from. Maybe I can do Steven. Yeah. By the way, that might be interesting. Steven might do this. He knows a lot about Utrecht ecosystem, and yeah, good idea. Yeah. So we'll do the session on the Dutch startups as well, and then then you might have a preference towards something.
Okay, I will do both of them. Thank you.
Yep. All right. Well, if you don't have any more questions, then I propose
Call it a night.
start enjoying the evening.
No, thank you. Just wanted to thank you for this amazing idea you had, because having this opportunity to have to do this game is really useful for us.
I'm glad you say that. That makes us feel fluffy on the inside.
All right.
Right.
Yep.
Thanks, and see you one of the other sessions. And enjoy.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.